Good evening, everyone. This is Bill Breeden. Welcome to Constellation Tour number 52. Tonight we're going to talk about Cetus, the whale, located along the celestial equator. Cetus is best viewed between November and January. So we have Stellarium set up here for December the 1st, 2020 at about 7:30 p.m. And since Cetus is along the celestial equator, it is visible from St. Louis. So we have our Stellarium set up for our hometown. And let's see, Cetus, we have a 60-degree field of view, simulating what you would see with the naked eye from a somewhat light polluted suburban area. So this is set up to sort of simulate what you would see when you look up into the sky. Looking south on December the 1st, from mid-northern latitudes at 7:30 in the evening, you're going to see a very empty sky as far as bright stars go. Cetus the whale is sort of is also known as the Cetus void because there's not much in the sky in that direction. So if you ever hear an amateur astronomer talk about the Cetus void, they're basically talking about the area of sky where Cetus the whale is and the surrounding area, where there's just not much. There's not many deep sky objects. There's not many bright stars. It just doesn't seem to be much there, especially from the suburbs or from the city. I mean, there are nights you'll look in that direction and there's just basically nothing in the sky. So that's why we call it the Cetus void. So since it's hard to see, how do we find it? Start with the Great Square of Pegasus. So look south and look for the square. And once Pegasus has risen high enough, you're going to look straight below it into the Great Void here. Now that's Cetus the whale. It really is as simple as that. Another way to do it is to look a little bit over to the east and look for Taurus here, this V shape of Taurus here with Aldebaran as the focal point, and the V of Taurus actually points in the direction of Cetus the whale. So it points you in this direction. So let's have a look at the constellation lines and see what we're dealing with here. Here's the V of Taurus pointing right to Cetus. And if we look up, you'll see the Great Square of Pegasus. And just below it in this area of the sky is Cetus the whale. That's pretty much how I find it. Pisces is also faint, so that's not really very helpful. Sculptor's usually too low in the sky to help you. There's really not much in this area. So let's turn our constellation lines back off. And let's look for a star named Tau Ceti, which is known for being one of the closest stars to us. Now here's a view of Tau Ceti through the finder scope. It's listed here as a double star, although I'm not sure we can split it. No, it's a really tight double. So, but what's special about Tau Ceti is the fact that it is only about 12 light years from Earth. So when you're looking at this star, you're looking at one that's actually not too far from us. It's magnitude 3.4. So let's have a look at the mythical figures. And Cetus is depicted as a whale with a very interesting looking head, so I don't quite get that. It's not the kind of whale I've ever seen. But you can see here, Cetus occupies this pretty empty area of the sky. Here's Aquarius pouring out the water jar. Here's Taurus the bull with the red eye of Aldebaran and the V shape pointing right to Cetus's nose. Now let's look at the constellation boundaries. Cetus is big. It is one of the largest constellations in the night sky. It encompasses, now remember, this is simulating a naked eye view of the sky. And Cetus encompasses all of this here, so it's pretty close to half of what you can take in just with the naked eye. So it's a very large area of sky. And yet, very few objects of interest to look at in this direction. There's one Messier object in Cetus. So let's head out to a dark sky site, see if that helps us see a little bit more stars in this area. Okay, let's try to find it again. We're looking south. We're going to look way up in the sky for the Great Square of Pegasus. Right here. So we come down from that and find the V of Taurus that points right to Cetus. So that puts us in this general direction. You've got the square here, you've got Taurus here. So this whole area here. But there's no, it's pretty nondescript. There's this whole area of sky here. So now that we're at a dark location, let's look for the one Messier object that is in Cetus, the whale. And that is M77. Just through the finder. M77 is a spiral galaxy of magnitude 8.9, located 47 million light years from Earth. Now it looks like there's another galaxy just outside the field of view, so it looks like we get a 2-for-1, which is nice because there's just not much in Cetus. So let's have a look through our 9mm eyepiece. (13mm Nagler view), 19mm panoptic, and finally my 24mm panoptic, which if you have an f10 8-inch Schmidt-Cassegrain, the 24mm panoptic eyepiece gives you the widest possible field of view in that telescope. Now you can use a longer focal length eyepiece, but what you then get is a smaller apparent field of view to go with it. So all you're doing is just making everything look smaller beyond this. So one of my favorite eyepieces simply because it gives me everything that my telescope can give me as far as field of view. Okay, what about that other galaxy here? Let's go back to the finder view. And let's just pan up a little bit and see what we've got here, a little treat. Is this cataloged? It's hard to get Stellarium to select it. There we go. It's NGC 1055. It's a magnitude 10.6 galaxy. And this one is located 78 million light years away. So farther away than M77. Oops, sorry, I didn't need to do that. I think I'm aimed at the wrong galaxy. My bad. Okay. Really hard to get Stellarium to pick what you want it to. There we go. Okay, NGC 1055 through the 24mm panoptic. It sort of resembles the Sombrero Galaxy. Let's go with the 13mm Nagler view. It has that same shape with this dark dust lane going through it. That's a good one. Okay, and there are no other notable deep sky objects in Cetus. So this concludes my tour for the night. Good night and good seeing.